Hey there everyone, it's Dakota, and today I have a video that will give you some pointers onto how to improve your stream or capture quality, along with being able to stream at 60 FPS, which is like the new standard because it looks so fluid, crisp, and clear, all that hunky-dory stuff. Other programs I'm going to show you how to do such with is XSplit. You could use OBS or whatever streaming software that you have. I'm pretty sure all would be able to do roughly the same thing. And AmaRecTV, which will be the more important one. Amarec, what it allows you to do is a lot of super great things like capture at 60 FPS, adjust audio levels without a need of an actual mixer. Even when you're streaming, you can adjust audio levels. And you can see here, it captures the actual live video feed. That is super beneficial because if you actually look down here, you'll see two little tidbits of information. One says view and one says cap. The view is the raw live feed that you're getting directly from the Dazzle. And as you can see, it says 60 FPS. That's how you're going to get the 60 FPS. Because if you come over to XSplit, you hit add camera and Amarec video capture, you will get the live feed from the Dazzle. Because normally Dazzles only capture at 60 FPS, which you can see right there is the cap. But since it's capturing the live raw footage, the actual view, you can get to 60 FPS. I'll talk about a little bit about the XSplit settings in a little bit after we're done with the Amarec stuff. If you right click on the actual video part of it, you got your menu, or what you can do is you can go to the top left or hit C to get your menu, and a window will come up, and it's so much easier to adjust everything. I'm only going to be talking about 3 or 4 of these little tabs up here. Of course, they're the important ones. So graph 1 or devices, where you'll select your capture device, be it Dazzle, like Magic Intensity, Elgato, what have you. Hit that, and then hit your input component, HDMI, whatever you have. S-Video, because it's like a purified 480p and it just looks nice. The format, I believe default is normally this one, 640 by 480 at 25 frames a second. If you actually select this one right here, the 720 by 480 at 29.9 frames per second, it will allow you to capture at 60 frames a second if your game allows 60 frames a second. So if that's not default, I'd recommend that. And then if you go down here and select your capture device's audio device, you'll be good to go. Graph 2 is a fairly important one. If you want to adjust the aspect ratio of your game, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, maybe for like mobile games, if for whatever reason you're capturing that, you can. Scan mode. What that does is, normally you want to leave that under scan, because if you put the over scan, it'll actually cut off the sides of your screen instead of the top. So under scan, you normally never have to worry about the top getting cut off because it's always like perfectly shaped, but over scan will cut off your sides, like not just the black bar, but more of it. So I can't recommend that. De-interlacing, I believe it's normally an auto select. I just do top field first. I've never really had a problem with it. I can't really explain why, but it just works best for me. Sorry, I'm not that descriptive. Function is kind of labeled awkwardly because you see I got for role-playing games, though Smash is a fighter. Well, let me turn down my adventure time here. I just turned it up like a retard. For role-playing games, it's actually for like standard definition games, like anything from like the Wii down, you'll want to do role-playing games because they'll capture it the best. Action games, I believe, are for like PS3, Xbox 360, and above, so HD games. And retro games are for like GameCube and lower. So I think like role-playing game would probably be just best for like the Wii and its virtual console, stuff like that. But I believe retro would do just fine. If you actually select the wrong one, I'm not sure if it'll actually show us here. I'm hoping it will. Let me minimize it. You can see that it's actually kind of jagged around the edges and whatnot, and sometimes your screen will jitter or shake really fast. You can tell that you got the wrong one selected. Oops. Silly me. So let's just go back to role-playing games, and we'll see that the lines will become super smooth, or smoother, I should say. Sorry. Let's go back in here. Cropping. If you want to actually crop this so that XSplit will pick up the cropped video instead of having to crop it in XSplit, you can crop it from here. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not that, technical with streaming yet. Display rotation, you don't really need to worry about that. It's normally always on disable. Scanline doubler, I think it's normally on auto. Just disable it. Just do what I say, plus. Here's another great function of Amarec, which I talked about earlier, is being able to adjust audio levels while streaming without the use of a mixer. By default, it'll always just capture the game's audio. So here's the actual capture. I always do it 12% of normal. I'm not going to turn up because then it'll be really loud for you guys. And then an XSplit, which you can see right here. I normally have it to about 1.5 to 2 bars. That's normally about the perfect audio level for normal microphones, along with the game audio. So it's fairly balanced. You can adjust it as needed. If you hit mixer, it'll allow you to have an external microphone and a PC levels along with the capture, so you can adjust it that way. And over here you would just pick your PC sounds or mic sounds. Normally I just let the game audio let's do its thing in Amarec, and then in XSplit I normally adjust the audio levels from there. I just find it kind of wonky in Amarec. Like, it doesn't do a bad job, it's just awkward to me, so I just don't do it. If you do have a mic or PC sounds, hit mixer. And if you hit play, you'll be able to hear them through your headphones, headset, whatever you have on. Live enable, I believe that's actually for the window back here that you normally see on Amarec. For 60 frames a second, of course, you want 60. Normally it's on 30, so definitely hit 60. If you need to resize it, you can. I think this is what you'll actually capture in XSplit. So if you want to resize that, you can. That way, when you stretch it out, it won't look so bad. I believe that's actually it for Amarec. Just the beneficials are this mixer and how it can actually capture the Dazzle's audio without the need of like virtual audio cable or mixer, something really silly like that. And it can capture at 60 frames a second. The general tab lets you pick like where you want to save your stuff and whatnot. I know that this particular version of Amarec has a playback function. I'm still, trying to learn all the cool stuff I can do with Amarec. But for now, I don't think you really have to worry about any of these settings. You can go through them and see if there's something that tickles your fancy. But for me, this is it for Amarec. So as long as you're capturing, or your view is at 60 frames a second, you'll get 60 frames a second over in XSplit. So now I'll talk about XSplit a little bit. Again, when I capture, I normally have it at 1.5 to 2. That normally seems about right for good balance. If you are streaming or capturing at 60 frames a second, it's really important that you go to view and frame rate, and you have to enter 60 frames a second yourself, or it'll just normally capture at between 25 and 30. I think it's normally 25 as a default, so definitely put 60 frames a second or you'll feel silly later on that you thought you were streaming pretty good and then it's just the basic 30. You can stream at whatever you want. I don't know why I have it 720 since Smash is a 480p/i game. Again, with the cropping and whatnot, you can make it look good. The default for Amarec, I believe, is always 732 by 488, so you can see it looks really good. There's no jagged edges or anything like that. If you can make a layout in 720p where you have a little cutout window for that size, so you don't have to stretch it, it would look just as good and it would sound just as good. Let me see if I can show you my settings for streaming really fast. They're probably really wrong compared to what good streamers have. Streaming at 720p at 60 frames a second can be kind of hard on your internet. So my upload speed is only 2.5 megabytes per second, which is not really too adequate. But if you have an i7, be it 1st gen through 4th gen, I have a 4th gen 4700 MQ, so it's not like the best, but it's a 2.4, so it does its job. If you have an i7, you definitely want to have your processors help encode and compress your footage, so even if you have bad internet, you can stream good quality. You can read the recommended ones here. I have it on fast, which sometimes can be a strain at, but normally my computer can handle it pretty well. My recommendation for bitrate is half of your upload speed. I think that normally is the rule of thumb for most streamers, and I go by that too. But if you have crazy good internet like Google Fiber, or if like you're streaming a tournament at some college and your upload's like 100 megabytes per second upload speed, you don't need to put 50,000 in here. I think the most I've ever seen on stream is 5,000 from Adam AK. So, I mean, I was at U of M streaming the fundamental theorem of Smash a week or so ago, and we had over 100, and I either used 1,500 or 2,100. So, you'll just have to, go from there, see which will work best for you. I guess there's not really too much to talk about in XSplit for setting up. You'll just want to go to Add Camera, Amarec. You got your window. You can adjust it. Actually, I think I can show you in here. Yeah, see? Bam. It looks kind of bad because it is stretched up to 720p, but overall, it still looks really good. The capture is coming out just fine. I think my voice is coming out just fine. Everything looks good. It's at 60 frames per second. But of course, since YouTube doesn't support 60 frames a second, you technically don't get to see it. Only on like Twitch and whatnot, or if you use a different video streaming site, you could possibly see the 60 frames a second there. So I believe that's all I have to talk about today. Hopefully these little tidbits of information on how to improve your stream quality with a few simple tweaks and programs helps. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or what have you, you can leave a comment down below. I can try to help you. I'm in no way an expert on these programs. I just know how to get around and whatnot. So hopefully it helps, and thank you for watching.